Hey guys, this is Danietta with Mommy on a Mission. I feel like you can't see me. With Mommy on a Mission and Antonio. Silly. Excuse the hair and what I have on. I just got finished working out. Thank you so much for taking the girls with you while I get a workout in. So if you see the girls come in and they start acting like that, you know why. Anyway, so actually it's been a while since we did a video. We were actually supposed to do a video like the next week. But we did not do a video the following week. And I had a young lady, which I didn't tell you this, but I tell you on camera, huh? But anyway, I had a young lady that asked me today. She was like, where's your second video? And it didn't dawn on me until then that, people are really watching and they were waiting for
follow up.
Yeah, follow up of some sort. So I feel like
we've seen it. See, what the issue is, we're in the room, right?
Oh God.
She didn't want y'all to know we was in the room. I was gonna call it the boom boom room. Not intended for what you are thinking. No, boom boom meaning a lot of noise being created that makes a lot of sense. You always hear things go boom. Like right now, there's some popping going on outside the window, and every so often you see her jump. We live in the hood, okay, yeah, and it's firecrackers, but of course she thinks it's gunshots. I'm like, look, it's not gunshots. Believe me, if it was gunshots, I wouldn't be just sitting here so calm. No, it could be gunshots. But we hear a loud boom, right? So with it being a boom, is it the boom that you think it is? No. So the boom boom room, what I'm saying is that make noise in a fashion that's going to be productive. Productive noise. It's a firecracker, okay? Well, it's making the noise it's supposed to. Firecrackers are supposed to make a boom for the excitement of those who enjoy firecrackers. Guns, on the other hand, that boom is not for the enjoyment of anybody, because the person who's on the opposite end of the boom, they are, believe me, that's the last time they're going to see a boom anyway. So that's not the boom that we want. No. So this boom boom room is the boom boom room of noise that is going to be productive, that the two of us are going to make. So those of you out there can go to your boom boom room and make some noise. Not intended for the boom boom room you're thinking of. That's usually the problem anyway.
What? Where are you going?
I'm going over there, but I wasn't going to go there. But usually that's the problem because, we put the cart before the horse. Meaning we jump in the boom boom room before the boom boom room. You don't get on, see this? Like minds. Not like minds. Yeah, watch out.
He's a professor.
Of life. Been here, done that. Got the t-shirt.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so
excuse me.
Anyway, so like I said, this video is about, I'm sorry I keep moving, I'm trying to center myself.
Don't say anything.
But this video, the last thing I said on the previous video was I wanted to talk about why we divorced in the first place. What happened, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna try to make this video not long, but I don't even know where to start.
Why you left?
Yeah, okay. Well, wait a minute. Don't be...
You said it. I didn't.
Okay, seriously. It was me. Initially, when we were going through everything, we were very new with everything. We had just had the girls. We had just bought a house.
Yes.
What was it? Go look in Mommy's bag.
All right.
Which one?
The gold one, more likely.
That's the twin. Y'all already know what twin that is because I talk about it all the time. Y'all already know. Anyway, we had just had.
She should know. Then so faces that she should already know. Then you already know.
we had just had the girls. We had just bought a house. We had just got married in less than a year. And so during that time, I had no time to really find out who Donyetta was. I didn't know. I just jumped right into this, the roles that I was in, you know, being a wife, a mom, and, you know, at the time I had a job, but I ended up losing my job, which made it, oh Lord. So speeding on up to the time around when I said that I wanted a separation. Initially, it was a separation. I never said a divorce. And the reason why I said I wanted a separation was because I felt like I needed some time to understand what was going on. I didn't have anybody who was telling me what was going on. We had gone to, and whoever look at this is not me saying anything bad about pastors or anything like that, but we had gone to our pastor and first lady, and even though they had good words of encouragement, it just didn't fit right for where I was at or where we were. Well, I'm going to say where I was at in my life. Because I was trying to make my husband happy. I was trying to make the kids happy. I was trying to do all these other things. And I was basically trying to give from an empty cup. But I didn't know how to, you know, do it any other way. So in my mind, I felt like, okay, well, let's separate. Let's just separate so that I have this time to, quote unquote, find myself. When the reality is that, everything that I was dealing with at that moment was, you were like reflecting that to me. And so I thought that meant I needed to go away, but it didn't mean that at all. So anyway, as time progressed, we had some issues. We ended up, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but we ended up losing our home. We did. We lost our home. And
while I was voting, let's mind you this. Uncle Sam.
You know what? This is not a time for you to like
I'm
bash Uncle Sam.
Just saying. I was voting. You taking my house, our house at the time.
Yes, we lost our home. And it felt like when we lost our home, it was just everything that was going down the drain.
Downward spiral.
Yes, and we were not on one accord in terms of he wanted to keep the house. I wanted to move closer to the city. We lived on the outskirts of Atlanta at the time. And so I wanted to move closer to the city because I thought that being closer to the city would allow us the opportunity to have time with each other, to date each other, to start all over. Well, that didn't happen. So long story short, to put, you know, as time progressed, we ended up moving closer to the city, and where I thought that it would have saved our marriage some kind of way. Maybe we could have started dating each other. Maybe we could have started, you know, just having that time with each other. I think what happened in the midst of that was a lot of emotions was already there. We already had in our minds something, you know. I can't speak for him. He'll come back and tell you. But for me, I already had it in my mind that I wanted a separation. And I still had it in my mind that I wanted to have this time to myself. And I went about it the wrong way. I really did. And some of you, you know, looking at this, you may be like really judgmental. You know, I'm prepared for that. But the truth of the matter is I went into, you know, my marriage and being a mom and all these other things, not knowing who Donyetta was, not having a clue. So I felt like I was always giving, and it wasn't my kids and my husband being demanding, but it was just, I didn't know. I was so used to giving other people that I didn't know how to give to myself. I knew nothing about self-care. I knew nothing about doing the things that made me happy. I thought I needed to sacrifice. Not only did I think I thought I needed to sacrifice myself But I also thought that because I would hear women always say, like, you have to nag, or not, they didn't use the word nag, but they always said you had to stay on your man in order for him to do right. And so in the midst of me doing that, I felt like it was so much of a burden for me to stay on top of him. It was so much of a hassle for me to be like, hey, Tony, did you do this? Tony, did you do that? Tony, why don't you do this? Tony, da 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 da. And it was so much. And it became, and then not only that, I was going through postpartum that I was having nightmares. I was like, my hair was falling out. I was like gaining weight. It was just ridiculous. I wanted to sleep all the time. At that time I knew that I needed to seek out some help, maybe from a therapist, but we didn't go that route because, of course, I was raised in the Baptist community where you don't go to therapists. You know, you go to your pastor for everything. And I felt like I wasn't getting where I needed to be. Again, not to downplay my pastor, but it was more so I just felt like anything that I needed, I wasn't getting. And so he was new in the marriage. It's just like I was new in the marriage. He had never been married before. He didn't have any kids outside of prior to us being together. And so it was a fight for Donyetta to find Donyetta. I just didn't know to say that. I didn't know to, and I'll tell you, and he knows this, before we had the girls, I prayed. I was on this fast, right? And so at the time I was on this fast, I was praying, and there were 3 specific things that I asked God for, or enlightenment on. And one of the things was, should I marry Tony? And the answer was never no. The answer was not right now. Now, anybody who knows me, I'm a person that I typically I just make things happen. I mean, that's how I am. If I find something that needs to happen, I just figure out a way to make it happen. Well, when it came to Tony and me praying to God about if this was the man I was supposed to marry, God never said no. He said, not right now. Well, when Tony, he was dating another, I think this was the time we were broke up. Because when I was pregnant, we had split up or something like that. And you were dating that other girl from school.
Right. When you got pregnant, we was kind of still dating. When
Yes.
I found out we were having twins, then I cut her off. Like, no, we can't date. I couldn't do that. You know what I'm saying?
But when I found out about the other girl, I forgot all about what God said. I was like, we ain't about to have that. No, we're about to be locking that down right now. And that was the mentality I had, which that was a prime opportunity for me to allow everything to flow. But I didn't. So I rushed into things. I mean, a lot of things happened during that time where we look back now and it was a big rush. We said, we're not gonna get married because we have kids, because that's what my parents did, and a lot of people's parents, got married because they had kids, and it was like, we always talk. Well, yeah, your parents didn't.
Right, and older. A lot older.
Excuse me. We always talked about marriage, but we never said when. And I think that this, 3-year span?
Mm-hmm.
This 3-year span that we have experienced, I think this is what was intended for us to experience before. Does that make sense? Yeah. That was intended for us to experience before. But because when we don't move in divine order, whatever your faith is, but when you don't move in divine order, just like, the seasons, you can't have spring and winter. So everything is done in divine order. So when you move in the total opposite direction of that, or in another direction, then you go against the divine flow of things. And so that's what happened. Now, not to say that when you go against the divine flow of things that you don't learn lessons, because you do still learn lessons. I don't believe you attract things into your life to hurt you, but you just figure you need another way to learn it. But all in all, I never intended for a divorce to happen. Initially, like I said, I intended just just to be separated. And throughout that, a lot of things happened. I mean, emotions were just haywire. We were doing things to each other that were just ridiculous, and it was not called for. And I can be the one to say I did things that maybe I didn't think all the way through. I didn't think of like, okay, well, if I do this, then this will cause this reaction. And the same for him. Like, we said things to each other. I mean, guys, it's gotten so bad. Nobody ever hit anybody, but it's gotten so bad to where, the police was involved, and we didn't want it to be that way, all because of emotions and not being able to talk. I think our biggest issue, I don't even think it was money. I think our biggest issue was communication.
Had money. Money was no problem.
We had money.
Money was fine. It ain't money. It's never money. First of all, it's always the inability to speak to one another in a fashion that each finds respectful.
He's internal. Very, he'll probably figure out the solution for a war in his head. And I'll just be like,
I know the solution don't go.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he'll have it all in his head. And for me, I will try all these different things. And so for him, it was like, well, Donnie, you're so much of a risk taker. You're doing this, you're doing that. And it wasn't grounding for him. And even though, I'm a person, I'm a risk taker, but I'm not going to put that type of structure in place for myself. I mean, honestly, I like it when somebody else does it. I like when somebody else has that grounding, that grounding part to them that I don't have, because I am flighty sometimes. And
you're right.
We're right.
You're right. You're right. I was in context, so I know exactly. Right. You fly. Patted the bell.
You silly.
No, but you said risk taker. Puts me in the mind frame. Question: do you like roller coasters?
No.
Funny. Check this out. Roller coaster. Everybody knows. Get on the ride. Sitting just with your buddy, your wife, your friend, whomever. Okay. I'm this guy. I'm so structured to the fact that I know what's about to happen at the peak of this, incline. I'm so structured to the point that each little clink, 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 all the way up to the top, that's the way I operate. I know there's going to be a nice, exciting climax as I go up. But I also know what is taking me. I have structured myself to think about the things that's going to get me to go up to the climax. Her, she's already at the climax. You skip everything else to get there. You're just there. So, of course, everybody, those who like roller coasters, myself, of course, we wait for the down drop, the decline. Oh, hands in the air. Woo, the rush, the adrenaline rush. She likes the adrenaline rush, but she can't get that. It's my sister's veil. Got to decline that one for right now. But, so me, structure. I want the excitement, and I know she says I'm internal. I don't really show a lot of excitement, but I like roller coasters. I love roller coasters. But she never been with me on a roller coaster, so you don't see me in action. She saw a picture of Pastor Wright's, First Lady Wright, and myself and some of the others. We went to Six Flags, and we were on the Superman. And so there's a picture of she and I, not her, but Pastor Wright's wife and myself on there. We got our hands up, and I'm like, my glasses off, and she's like, wow, you look excited. Yeah, it's a roller coaster. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I like it, but just to try to show a correlation of how we operate, she likes the climax already. She's already there and ready to take the dive down. Well, you don't really. Did you figure out that you forgot a couple of steps behind you? Like, for instance, that is a pool of water, but it's only 3 feet deep. But from your distance, it looks 9 feet deep. But you jumped already. But if you started from the bottom before you were going up and looked down, guess what? It's actually only 3 feet, even though it's a 9-foot pool. I might left out that little piece right there, but it's a 9-foot pool. Only 3 feet filled. But from the top, you can't tell. She's already there. But as I like to move up the ladder, wait a minute, I saw that going up. So it makes it more clear to me, you know what? I don't want to go down because I already know that's not a good direction to jump because there's not enough water. So yeah. So kind of the analogy of the fact that she's just right now where I am not, I'm step by step.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. I am right now.
I'm step by step. I want to get where she's going.
And I want to get to where he's going because
But there are steps to me.
Yeah.
And she wants, I'm already there. Catch me when you get there. Okay, cool. But just make sure that if you're going to catch me when I get there, wait. But that was her problem. She didn't want to wait. And I wasn't supposed to talk because I was saying, I like what she was saying. I'm going to be quiet. And so when we come back the next time, I have a little something for y'all, and she gonna be quiet. And you see, we learn how to take turns. It's about taking turns. I cleaned, I cooked it. With the Popeyes, and I told them to cook it, and they cooked it, and I brought it back home, and we ate it. Did it. Sure did. Taking turns. She sat here, worked out. 30 minutes of your time. Free. No churn. Mama,
No churn.
I'm sorry. Not. Can we come? Nope. Don't work out with me. No, we in a 1-bedroom, so you really it's not that much room for all us in here anyway. So she.
Because I done came in and bombarded
right.
all my stuff.
She got hips.
Shut up.
Yeah,
Anyway.
moving and stuff. Moving and shaking.
Ow! I got whiplash.
Whiplash. See, she need to do some push-ups.
That don't have nothing to do with my neck.
Yeah, it does. Oh, this your delta. See, we have to, Tony Horton. I mean, what's his name?
That is something good.
I'm right. P90X coming back for you, buddy. What you gonna do?
Would you be quiet?
One of these 24-inch pythons run wild on you.
You're so silly.
Hulk Hogan. I remember him. God rest him. Oh, I'm sorry. Hello.
No, whoa.
You didn't say
Wait.
come in.
We said wait.
Back up. What you trying to show me something?
She can show it in a second. Okay, wait 1 second,
Pumpkin. Show it
Pumpkin.
in a second.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this video up, guys. Just want to tell you why I decided what happened, how we got to the divorce. And guys, you know what? And then when we was in court, I hated his attorney. He hated my attorney. And
The first one of them was cool.
was she?
The very first one was lazy. That was the white girl.
Oh
The
yeah.
other one was.
Yeah, we went. Okay,
was
so you
kinda-
probably figured out we went through a whole bunch
she
of
went
attorneys.
through 3. I went through 2. I counted, fool. Maybe I observed. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so anyway, we went through a whole bunch of attorneys. But the day of the divorce, when it actually happened, it was like I didn't want to sign the papers. But I had in my mind like he's not gonna want to. We've gone through hell. When I say, I mean, I'm not even telling you guys everything, but hell, literally, we went through hell, and I was like, this man is not gonna want to stay with me. And I remember after signing the papers, well, after
3
leaving
years of
court.
growth. That's all I've been going. Yeah.
You silly. I remember calling you. You remember I called you right after court?
Oh, we hadn't even left yet. I was like, were we still in Decatur or had? Oh, just
No,
after?
we
Yeah,
had
left.
already went through the last divorce court.
Mm-hmm. Right,
And I called you.
Right. Uh-huh.
And I couldn't do anything but cry because I was just like, what the heck happened? It moved so fast. It was just like, what happened? What?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what happened, guys, as far as the divorce from why I wanted to. Initially I wanted to separate, and like I said, it was just one thing led to another. I hate you, you hate me, you dirty, and it.
Lack of understanding.
Yeah.
That's
Lack
what-
of understanding, lack of communication,
Yep.
and also wanting to change a person to fit your mold, right? And I'll talk about this in a different video, but that was like the wrong move. Wrong move, ladies. Wrong move.
Right.
Don't try to
And
change them.
For the fellas that's out there who well, not say like, from my standpoint, I would like to come back, and this is starting to become very interesting. I get to be a clown and on for people that don't know me. But what I want to say is though, from my perspective of why I was against wanting to even separate, because the whole time, even though I understood and the actual date would have been like July, I want to say 17th or 18th, because it was a week of my family reunion. So, and it happened to be here in Atlanta. So I know during that time period, maybe 2010, maybe 10, 11-ish, somewhere up in one of those two.
I think it was like 11, right?
11, I mean, because it's 14, right? 2011. Because my cousin and I, we did it together anyway. So I recall it being that day close to it, because in my mind she had said she wanted to separate, and I'll get into the story after. I just give you this one little piece. She said she wanted to separate, but then she came to the reunion, and saw my family members. So it was an awkward feel. No one else there knew, but I did. But yet I didn't try to make it like no, you don't need to come. And you just told me you didn't want to be with me no more. Why would I want you to come around my family? And they know you as my wife from 2010. You know what I'm saying? 8. So from that point, yeah, I forgot how many years we've been married. It's 8, because I mean it's 5
That
years.
was a bloopers moment.
Okay, man. I don't know. Well, that will happen when you get divorced. Who wants to remember the person who left? I don't. No. Okay, so anywho, not to get all the way to it, like I said before, I am, but that will be the start of it. So I would like to share that piece for the guys to say, like, well, dude, how did you end up back with her in the first place? If you're saying you never wanted to leave in the first place, well, what she just expressed and share with you all tonight will be on the extent of why she left, just strictly from her point of view. Then I want to come back and talk about, from my point of view, witnessing what she was going through. Because she pretty much, probably another video after this to kind of show some more from her side. Because I think we're piecing this together as we go. But more from her side to make a dialogue that you can actually follow as far as the videos are concerned. Because I'm looking at her track here of different things. So I would like them to be chronological. Here I go again being structured. But I am. I don't want everything scattered and you trying to follow us and you really can't follow us. Doesn't make any sense. Well, video 1, well, what's
well, what if there's some Geminis out there who like the random stuff?
Well, pick one then. One of y'all need to show up and the other one tell him to go home.
Anyway, guys, this is silly. All right, so this wraps it up. We will be back on the next video. We're gonna try to do these once a week. It's kind of
We gotta get structured. When we get structured and settled, it'll be every Monday. Don't worry about it, and hold us to it. And if we don't, send us an email and we'll reimburse you a pack of Snickers and a Skittle. Some Skittles.
Not when I just gotta.
We said them, not you. Them. They might not.
But I'm gonna be mad that they have Snickers and Skittles.
But this is us, right? This ain't the body workouts and stuff, is it?
No.
Right. So those of you who don't work out, good. Go get you some Skittles and get you some Snickers. If you do work out, then don't listen to what I just said.
Oh Jesus.
Easy, right?
Guys, we'll see you in the next video.
Oh, we gotta do our signature thumb fist bump. Wrong hand.
Did we do that?
Yeah.
We did it on the last video?
See? No, so you gotta come over this way. Oh. Awesome. All right, ready? Goodbye.
Did we do that on the last
video?
video?
Ask everybody else. They seen it.
Hi.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait. All right, so say goodnight. Ready?
Bye, guys.
No,
good night.
Okay.
Love you.
All right, peace out. Ready, go. All right, peace out.
Oh, you gotta meet.
Right. So try it. Do it again. Ready? Go. You're not in the middle. Right here.
We gotta go because we almost 30 minutes.
All right, cool. All right, we're done. Right here. Ready?
That really is. Bye, guys.